everybody, we are here before the launch of IOA 2025 in Mumbai. We have with us Aniket Sule, the president of IOAA, and Natasa Dragovic, the general secretary of IOAA. So we are excited to know about the IOAA, its evolution through all these years, and what we look forward to the Mumbai edition this year. So Natasha, since you've been a participant yourself and a gold medalist at a previous IOA, how do you think IOA has evolved all through these years? How has the experience changed for students as well as leaders?
Thank you. That's a great question. So I participated on the third edition of the IOA as a student, and it definitely grew a lot. I think at that time there were less than 30 countries participating from 3 continents, and now we have, this year we're expecting 64 countries from all 6 continents. So even in that span of time, 15 years, we grew like almost 3 times. So that's one change. Another change has been the number of rounds. It has evolved in the last few years that the observation round used to be just the telescope. And if it's cloudy, then you have you have a map and then you need to figure out something with the map. Now those are separate parts. And you also have a planetarium round. So there's just more for students to do. What else has it changed? Other part in the structure, I don't think it has changed much.
So as you increase the number of countries, you meet people from different cultures, you also get a chance to learn about their astronomy, both from students and from leaders. So having a larger IOA has also enriched everybody's experience of attending the event.
Okay. So how does it differ from other science Olympiads in its structure and overall ethos?
So that's what I just alluded before was the telescope round. I think that's the very unique part of Astronomy Olympiads is the fact that you get to go and see the night sky, and the students are expected, well, sometimes they're at night, maybe till late in the morning, they have to go, they have to familiarize themselves, but also in just the breadth of topics that it can cover. And for example, in the theory round, it's problems from astronomy and astrophysics, but it has, chemistry, a lot of chemistry components, a lot of physics components. You have to know math very well. So you have to have a lot of skills and a lot of understanding. And you also have only 5 hours for 12 pretty challenging problems. Well, for example, Math Olympiad, it's challenging problems, but you have 6 problems over 2 days. So I would say in that sense it's different.
Another unique thing about IOA is what we call as data analysis round. In physics or chemistry Olympiad, you can do experiments in a lab, or you can arrange experiments such that it can be done on a table. So there students take the readings themselves and then they do some quick analysis of those readings to get their scientific conclusions. In astronomy, good quality readings often come from big telescopes. So those kind of telescopes obviously are not accessible for students. So the compromise which has been worked out is data from such real observations is provided to students, and then since they have more time at their hand, they can do a more detailed analysis of these observations and bring out the science behind which is included in those observations.
So beyond winning a medal, what impact do you think Olympiads like these have on young students?
I would say as a former student, it's really the friendships that you make. I'm still in touch with many of the people that I was participating with, and it's just the bond. Like, you don't have to see them every year, but you just say, oh, remember me, and then of course you remember after many years, and you can just start from before. And I think it also helped me, especially at that time, learn about the world in a very, natural way. You're meeting other peers your age, and you get to know how things are done in their country, and you learn a lot from them. So I think that has always been very special to me. And so basically the community aspect has been the best part of the IOA.
So over the years, IOA has become more inclusive with more countries, more diverse student populations joining, and also diverse in terms of the outreach that's done. So has it been intentional, and what do you think the future editions of IOA, present edition as well as the future editions, what can we expect from these editions?
So I think from the point of the IOA organization, we allow every country to figure out what model works for them best. And there have been many successful models. For different countries, it works differently. So for example, in country like India, you have government support and there is a very strong Olympiad program that is very systematic and you have a lot of people involved in it. In some other countries, it might be more ground up. For example, in the US, it was first started with some high school students seeing that there is this thing as an Olympiad, and only later it became its own like non-profit organization. And that has worked well, for example, in the US, but it doesn't mean everyone has to do the same thing. And also, I think the intentionality part, we definitely notice that certain regions were not coming. And we understand we can't force people to come if they don't want to, but we have tried to reach certain astronomy organizations in different countries, and we held few meetings in the fall, and we're very happy that as an outcome of that, we will have 3 countries from Africa participating for the first time this year.
So, see, astronomy is called a gateway science in many respects. That is, that opens gates towards curiosity towards STEM subjects. So many students across all around the world are always curious about what is happening in the sky. They're excited about looking at stars and planets through small telescopes. So this curiosity can be leveraged to get them excited towards science in general. And that is how we feel it is natural that many countries would like to bring a team to such events which is related to astronomy. And where there is a global organization, International Astronomy Union, of all the professional astronomers around the world. We are taking their help. We are taking help of astronomical societies in different countries, so that we can take this word about Astronomy Olympiad to different countries and hopefully increase the participation even further.
What excites you the most about India hosting the 18th International Olympiad for Astronomy and Astrophysics this year?
We were just exploring all the different venues and all the things that the students will get to experience and the problems, and I think it's hard to point out one thing. I think the problems are fantastic. I think students will really enjoy and there will be a nice challenge. But even all the things that the organizers have thought of, like they'll visit IIT Bombay, I think they'll have a fantastic time there. They'll also visit a planetarium. They'll also see the radio telescope GMRT. So I think all of it is going to be really exciting. But the most thing probably in the end is the friendships and the memories of the event, and they're all being together doing these problems, I think will be the best.
So as Natasha mentioned earlier, we are excited about the fact that Africa is represented for the first time ever, and we are expanding our footprint. But to speak from India's point of view, yes, this hosting comes at the right time, in a sense. Last few years we have seen things like Aditya L1, we have seen Chandrayaan 3. A couple of days ago we had another Indian astronaut going to space, and plus India is participating in several mega projects. Indian astronomy is ready to mark its presence on global stage, and hosting IOAA is also a step in that direction.
So Natasha, you spoke to school students recently as part of the outreach efforts of
Yes.
IOAA. What was that like, and were there any moments that maybe surprised or moved you?
Yeah, so that was fantastic. That was a week ago, and there were about 300 students. And I've never given such a big outreach event, like to speak to such a large audience about math. And to be honest, I was a little nervous how many students will they want to participate, or will just be, because the session was planned to be interactive, that I give some problems and they try to do something and they say back. So I wasn't sure if I just give a problem, one person answers and we move on, and then like you still have 299 students that are just sitting there. But it was totally different. Everyone was trying, they were all drawing, then they all came, each student wanted to show how they solved the problem. So it was a fantastic session. It was definitely the highlight of my journey here.
Professor Aniket, how do local outreach events before an IOA help in getting the word out there or increase people's awareness about Olympiads like these?
There are some countries where the Olympiad kind of event is already very popular. Just to give you an idea, in Brazil, in the first round of Astronomy Olympiad, more than 8 lakh students appear every year. India, with our population being even larger than Brazil, the first round number of students is around 15 to 20,000. So there is a lot of scope for Olympiad to become even more popular in Indian education system. So outreach events is the way by which we can get the word about Olympiad out. Right now, students are not aware that there is such a prestigious international competition, and they are not aware of what it means to be part of this. So what the plan the local organizing committee has chalked out includes various public lectures before the IOA, during the IOA, and also participation of school students in some indirect way in some of the IOA activities. So all this, it is hoped that this will help increase the Indian participation in the Astronomy Olympiads at the country level.
If you had to dream big, like astronomically big, how do you hope to see the IOA in the next 10 years?
So I think we're already on the right path. It's growing a lot, and I think it will grow even more in 10 years. So hopefully that's one aspect. Another aspect is just the community, bringing community together and having more support and more people understanding the importance of these kind of events, so that we can host not only in India but in many other places around the world, that we have good hosts that are, that would be really good.
The IOAs are not just competitions for that group of students, but the resources which get created, the problem sets, and they become a repository of good challenging problems for all the school systems. So we also hope that these resources, they go out to all countries, not just the host country, and we hope that the kind of questions, the type of questions which are designed for IOAs, they become a model for the schools to design and a way to learn how to design challenging questions. So these kind of ideas should percolate back in education system, and that would be the real contribution of IOA-like competitions.
What's one thing that you think that people, especially educators and parents, would understand better about competitions like the IOA?
The IOA, or for any international Olympiad for that matter, Natasha has said earlier, is not a competition where results are the primary thing. Yes, it's a competition, so somebody will get some medals, somebody will get some other medals, somebody may not get a medal. That is there, but that is not what the purpose of the Olympiad is. We hope that these students who are all passionate about astronomy, they build networks. Tomorrow or a few years from now, these will be the people who would be in various fields of life. Some of them will be in academia, some of them will be in industry, and these networks which they build in these years today, they will be important networks for them in their life, and also important networks for world. In the sense, if students from different countries talk to each other, understand each other's cultures, understand the shared passion and shared aspirations, then we hope that the world will have lesser conflicts because more people understand about each other.
On a more practical note, I always get this question when I say, I used to do these astronomy Olympiads, and they're like, but what is that? What does that even mean? So I always say, okay, so you have 3 rounds. You have theory, which is going to be your classical problems like physics, astronomy, astrophysics type of problems. Then you have the data analysis, like Aniket said earlier, where you're given some sort of data from a certain experiment that was done, and you have to figure out, go through some process through the formulas and understand some outcome, you get to some conclusions. And then the observational part, where you will be maybe given a telescope or just a sky map, and you need to understand where the constellations are and something about them. So it's a lot of different things you have to know. So it's not just the popular thoughts of what you have about astronomy. it's much more involved though.
Okay. So to wrap up, we'll have a couple of quick-fire questions that both of you would probably answer. Let's see. So what is the IOA in one word?
I think it is an astronomy competition. It has to be.
Like if you had an adjective to assign to it.
Well, maybe Aniket goes first for that one.
It's a friendship network.
I mean, it is friendship, yes, as well. But I think it is still a astronomy. I don't know.
Challenge?
Challenge, yes.
Your first IOA memory.
Many memories. I remember watching the sky in China and seeing so many stars, more than I've ever seen before, and being completely lost and disoriented.
Okay, my memory is not academic. My memory is about food. So first ever IOA in 2007 was in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and there the northern Thai cuisine is very different from what you will typically have in southern Thailand, and we tried many new things. That food is my memory of first IOA, which has stayed with me.
Okay. If one chooses to volunteer, why would one volunteer for the IOA?
I think it's for the community. It's the community that comes after, and the sense of friendship that you get.
Network of astronomy educators, which can help each other improve our own teaching.
What makes IOA 2025 special?
As we said, the fact that we, for the first time, have 6 continents represented.
Natasa mentioned 6 continents, but the important part here is we have been trying to get Africa to participate in IOA for a number of years, and this is the first time we have a strong participation from Africa.
Okay. So one thing that you would want students to experience in Mumbai?
I think Aniket is the expert.
So Mumbai is a much younger city as compared to the rest of India, but still Mumbai has very unique history. And I would like definitely students to also see and feel that Mumbai's history when they go out for excursions.
Okay. One thing every IOA participant should have, one quality.
I think open-mindedness to go and explore, talk to others, try new foods, just all of it. Yeah.
Be a team player, work with each other.
One thing every participant should do at an IOA.
Meet the people from countries they don't know anyone from.
Yes. So this, when I was Indian team leader before I became the executive committee member, I always used to tell Indian teams participants that if you don't get a medal, that does not matter. You have to come back and show me your diary where you have noted down phone numbers of at least 20 people from different countries, and where you can call them and talk to them. You have made that much friendship with them.
If IOA could be compared with a constellation, it would be?
Well, I thought it would be good that it's a peacock constellation, Pavo, because it's India's national bird.
I imagine it as a Cygnus, because if you see in the sky, Cygnus is imagined as if that Cygnus is picking its beak in the galaxy of our galaxy Milky Way. So IOA is picking out these bright stars from the students. So it is a Cygnus-like constellation.
Okay, so that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us, and see you at IOA 2025 in Mumbai this year.